And you are now listening to me with what's called the pre-feed. We do this on the Facebook, too. Facebook pre-feed lets you know who's going to be on the big program today. The program is called Delaware County Today. Good morning. It is March the 16th, 2026. I'm Steve Lindell here in what we call Studio B. We'll have the weather from Paul Poteet. Hopefully it gets better sooner. Boy, the winds. Wow. He mentioned locusts last week. And a big week stacking up. We'll not cover that now on the pre-feed because it'll be redundant, because in a moment I'm going to say it to the wide radio audience, and it's wide. We thank you for watching on Woof Boom Studio B. That's the channel from YouTube, posting content more and more all the time, and live sometime soon as well, too. Live YouTube or YouTube Live. Anyway, here we go.
Now, new, live, and local, and every weekday from 8 to 9 a.m. This is the show talking about what you want to know, what you need to know, and part of Woof Boom Radio's mission to use our voice to build our community. The all-new Delaware County Today, presented by Muncie Community Schools. Now on WMUN, the Talk of Muncie. Here's your host, Director of News Operations and lead morning anchor, Steve Lindell.
Thank you. The voice of Tom Campbell on WMUN. People are talking about the weather. He mentioned locusts last week. Wow, the wind and some snow today, not like Minnesota though. Farm Festival week has arrived, and we are also going to talk about senior nutrition. That is a focus this month. We have a special guest coming into Studio B at the bottom of this hour. Hello and good Monday morning. Steve Lindell on Radio First, 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, terrestrial radio where the vast majority of our audience lays. And there's also, of course, the technology ways to listen and watch, streaming, Alexa device, even the YouTube page. That's Woof Boom Studio B. Wherever you are listening or watching, you always get the weather first on this program and hourly from WMUN meteorologist Paul Poteet.
The line of severe storms marched through about midnight early this morning. We don't have to worry about severe weather anytime soon or about any kind of warm weather anytime soon. It's back to winter for the last few days of it. Temperatures today will fall through the 30s during the daytime. The wind chills will move into the teens. Tonight, the wind chills are going to be into the single digits into tomorrow morning. And snow showers will also be around. Could get a dusting from that today, especially on grassy surfaces. Our low tonight will be 16. Looks dry for St. Patrick's Day, but continued chill. Today, the wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. They could still be up around 20 miles an hour tomorrow. High of only 27 for Tuesday. And then another round of some snow showers and flurries Tuesday night after midnight into Wednesday morning. Wednesday's high, mid-40s. By Thursday, we're closing in on 60, and I think we're into the 60s Friday. Once we get to Wednesday afternoon, we are dry probably for about a week. That's WMUN Muncie weather. And now, back to Steve.
And thank you, Mr. Paul Poteet. You're looking at the two-shot here on WMUN's video feed. We'll have guests in studio coming up just after a little bit, and a whole lot more this week. It's a busy one here on WMUN in Delaware County Today and the rest of the Woof Boom Radio group. We use our voice to build and connect our community. We do that a bunch of different ways, including through our local news coverage. These stories and more airing on all of our stations in East Central Indiana today and now on WMUN. 27,000 out of power at the peak from AEP. Elkhart and South Bend hardest hit by those incredibly strong winds Friday. Crews restored as of 8 a.m. yesterday, 98% back on. Scattered small outages the focus yesterday. Eventually, it'll warm up again, and people will be ready to be outside with the changes at Prairie Creek Reservoir. What will it look like?
The North Shore, which was the campsite, there will be nothing there this year.
Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenauer said on WMUN as of last Tuesday morning,
Between 50 and 70 campsites are still there. That they need to move.
And what has to happen?
Most have already moved out, but there are still some remaining, and so I'm sure we'll have to go through some actions to make that occur.
TCC Gives program director Hannah Shute had a surprise for a local counselor recently. She presented Northview Elementary counselor Connie Devers-White with a $1,000 gift card and a basket of treats. Shute was a fourth grade student in Selma 20 years ago. This was part of a program, Teachers Rock initiative.
It was one battle after another as the theme of the 98th Annual Academy Awards, and as the big winner with 6 wins, including Best Picture. Sinners followed with 4 wins, including Michael B. Jordan for Best Actor. Frankenstein took home 3 awards. K-pop Demon Hunters 2. The In Memoriam segment saw Billy Crystal joined by Meg Ryan, Kathy Bates, and others paying tribute to Rob Reiner. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Former Ball State football wide receiver Willie Snead IV has been hired as offensive quality control coach by the NFL's Denver Broncos. Star Press had that. If you're tired of seeing your utility bills rise, a new law heading to the governor's desk might offer some relief.
This move adds performance standards utilities must meet when requesting rate changes and stops them from shutting off power during their hottest and coldest days of the year. Jake McDaniel, Network Indiana.
Kimberly D. Grayson, convicted Friday in Delaware County Court from the July 2022 death of her 5-year-old daughter from a gunshot wound. The charge is listed on our local news page this morning. After the verdict returned, Delaware County Prosecuting Attorney Eric Hoffman said, quoting, "These types of cases are very difficult in so many ways, and they take an emotional toll on the attorneys, the prosecutor's staff, and the police. Nevertheless, the team persevered to ensure that justice was served," unquote.
Mayors coast to coast are on high alert for extreme weather. 11 million people in the Midwest and Great Lakes are under blizzard warnings, with parts of northern Michigan expected to see up to 3 feet of snow. Meantime, people in the Southwest are bracing for dangerous heat. The Midwest and South are being hammered by strong winds, hail, and tornadoes. That threat shifts to the East Coast on Monday, and thousands are also without power.
Indiana Governor Braun and the Lieutenant Governor had an announcement last week on WMUN's Delaware County Today.
Partnering with the Turning Point USA and the Club America chapters around the state and really pushing to get Club America clubs started in all of our schools, which is pro-America, nonpartisan.
Micah Beckwith mentioned a Friday trip to Arizona for a meeting on the subject, too.
Meeting with Erica Kirk as well to really just solidify this more. And there's other states, states like Arkansas and Oklahoma, Florida, and Texas are doing the same thing.
The Madison County Alliance has selected Marissa Skaggs as the next president and CEO. She takes the reins April 13. A Hoosier who moved to Arizona to help Charlie Kirk grow Turning Point USA came back Thursday to support the group's newest effort in Indiana.
Flanked by a group of kids holding signs for the Club America program, Alex Clark talked about her early school experiences shaped her before she crossed paths with Charlie Kirk.
None of this would have been possible if Indiana schools hadn't first encouraged me to develop my voice.
Brian Hedrick, Network Indiana.
The Pendleton Community Library has rolled out a monthly program that allows teens to sample snacks and finger foods from nations around the world.
They have an actual little passport, and they can record the things that they like and sometimes listen to international music when they're doing it. So, that's been a fun event. We're kind of doing that in tandem with some services that we've rolled out to help people learn foreign languages.
That's Library Director Lynn Hobbs telling Oldies 101's Anderson Journal Morning Show that it's been a hit.
President Trump has called on what he says is about 7 countries to send warships to keep the Strait of Hormuz open. The president told reporters on board Air Force One late Sunday,
"Nice to have other countries police that with us, and we'll help."
The strait normally carries about 1/5 of the world's oil every day, but shipments are being blocked by Iran. Jill Nato, Fox News.
Muncie, with a new fire station that just opened, is planning for the next update in town.
Yes, so Station 5, which is the station on Tillotson, it currently has 2 bays. We are expanding that to where it will have 4 bays. It'll be on the same site, and it'll be a 2-story facility. The living quarters will be above, and it'll have 4 bays so that we can better serve the growing west side.
Mayor Dan Ridenauer last week on WMUN's Delaware County Today. Muncie Borough 7th grader Leo Furlong has won the Ball State PBS Regional Spelling Bee for the 3rd straight year. More local every day on our free wolfboomnews.com.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, the job works in your favor. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members buy more and save more on the materials they rely on every day. Get up to 25% off select molding when you spend $1,000 or more, and up to 25% off Pergo Evercraft laminate flooring. Put Pro Savings Days to work for you. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowes.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
As you know, managing maintenance, repair, and operations is never easy. But for the ones who always rise to the challenge, Grainger has your back. From professional-grade products you can count on to fast, dependable delivery, they're there to help you keep things running smoothly. Plus, their technical product specialists are here to help answer your toughest questions. And because Grainger knows safety is always a priority, they're committed to being your partner in protecting both your people and your facilities. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
We are inside Studio B, closer to the bottom of the hour. We'll welcome in Mandy Williams. We'll talk about Senior Nutrition Month. Hold on, that coming up from Lifestream Services in a sponsored segment in just a little bit. I'm Steve Lindell. We always try to work this in when time permits. Let's get a little snapshot of your day today.
It's March 16th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. It's National Freedom of Information Day, which also coincides with the birthday of the country's 4th president, James Madison, in 1751. Madison is considered the father of the Constitution and was an advocate for openness in government as well as the Bill of Rights. Congress would eventually see Madison's desire for a more open government come to fruition in 1966 with the passage of the Freedom of Information Act. Also on this date, in 1870, Mississippi Senator Hiram Rhodes Revels becomes the first black man to deliver a speech on the Senate floor. And in 1900, baseball's American League is founded by Ban Johnson. 8 teams made up the league at its founding. If it's your birthday today, you share it with comedian, actor, and philanthropist Jerry Lewis, born in 1926, and TV game show host Chuck Woolery, born in 1940. I'm Tushar Saxena, and that's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
WMUN, News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk. We're the talk radio of Muncie. We have music stations, too, several of them. They're very popular. Thank you for watching and listening. I say watching because we have the video live feed going out as a test. We also have the pre-record thing going on later. We have listeners far and wide. I can't see my map today, but Mama is likely listening in Minnesota. I had a good talk with her yesterday. As they were expecting some snowfall, Sister Sherry heard the pre-weather report from Portland, Oregon. She's listening now, too. And she called Mom to say, no more snow for you, Mama. I have brother Pat now, Pat Lindell, in Minnesota just moments ago with the so far snowfall totals from Minnesota. Zumbro Falls got 20 inches. That's 20 inches. Lake City got 17. Pine Island, 16. Rochester, Minnesota, 16 and a half. Red Wing, you know, where they make the boots, 13 and a half inches. I almost said feet. Owatonna got 12, and River Falls got 12. Oh, 12, that's nothing. Come on, you can do better than 12. Some places in the UP of Michigan, I heard something close to 2 feet of snow in some spots. Oh, by the way, spring arrives Friday. Does that make you feel any better? Blame the groundhog. He said 6 more weeks of winter, didn't he? All right, next item people are talking about. It's 8:18 now. Live from Studio B on WMUN's Delaware County Today. Steve Lindell here. People are talking about recalls. I mean, an automotive company breaking records with continuous recalls, and another company is expanding on their robot driving technology.
It's Fox Wheels.
The fixes have piled up at Ford, with recalls sweeping through nearly every model in its lineup. Between 2020 and 2026, in 2025, Ford set a record for the most recalls issued by a single automaker in a single year, issuing more than 150, nearly double the previous record of 77 set by General Motors in 2014. Tesla rival Lucid unveils a two-seat robotaxi without a steering wheel or pedals, potentially putting it in direct competition with Tesla's Cybercab. Though while Lucid's robotaxi for now is a concept, Tesla said last month that its first Cybercab had officially rolled off the production line at its Gigafactory in Texas. Car shoppers are paying more attention to EVs as gas prices rise. According to Edmunds, that reports hybrids and EVs accounted for over 22% of all vehicle research activity since early March. That's Fox Wheels. I'm Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
From Studio B, Steve Lindell here. Later on this afternoon, Mark Forster will have sports of all sorts. It's the Power Hour. And I heard he had a couple of live broadcasts. Is it two? I think there's two live broadcasts this week that I believe the brackets will be broken down and or beverages will be consumed. Not live on the radio. 3. Sorry, I'm getting the signal now from the green room. It is 3 live broadcasts as we talk about that fun. By the way, Wednesday there's a live broadcast, weather permitting. The Butler Bulldogs are supposed to be in town. Hopefully the wind doesn't blow out again and they're hitting home runs over McGalliard like they could have been over the weekend. That was just crazy. Another item people are talking about, the IndyCar season has started, and time permitting, as we build towards the month of May. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It's called the Indianapolis 500. It happens here in Indiana. Perhaps you're familiar. From time to time, time permitting, we'll look at the IndyCar races that precede the greatest spectacle in motor racing. Here's what happened over this past weekend.
Mark Janes, Davey Hamilton with a recap of the Java House Grand Prix of Arlington. And for a first-ever event, Davey, tens of thousands showed up in mass, and I think everyone involved have to be pleased with what happened in Arlington.
Yeah, Greg Penske started this whole thing, his creation, his baby. Absolutely a fantastic job. The best first event, especially on a temporary course, that I've ever been to.
Well, the weather, because of high winds, everything moved up an hour early, but clearly fans were here in mass, so they got the word, and they were treated to an entertaining race because of pit strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. The pit strategy was Kirkwood with a 3-stop strategy finds himself winning. Palou also a 3-stop strategy, could not catch up to Kirkwood, but Will Power ran third place. It got third position with a 2-stop strategy.
Interesting to note that the top 3 finishers all led 16 laps.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? That's a good point right there. I mean, it was good lead changes, good racing throughout. Nice long straightaway, get some drafting done.
Kyle Kirkwood took the lead on lap 54 and was very happy in victory lane.
Quite honestly, we just had pace. You know, I love racing Palou. He's somebody that you can trust. If you do a big lunge like I did, you can trust him to actually see you and be very aware. And I think we raced very well together. So that was fantastic. That was a good race.
Just a couple of cautions, Davey, and not till very late in the race. As a matter of fact, the race finished under caution.
That's right. It's 4 laps to go, a caution, and then 1 lap to go caution. So very few and such a good race.
5 leaders and 8 lead changes, and it wasn't until late in the race that people started to fall a lap down. For the first 3 quarters of the race, everybody on the lead lap.
How about this? You have 1 DNF. Only 1 DNF with the Rasmussen car shutting off.
So Kyle Kirkwood, your winner. Alex Palou finished as second. Will Power was third. Marcus Ericsson was fourth. And Pato O'Ward completes the top 5. What a day it was. A very successful Java House Grand Prix of Arlington.
Mark Janes reporting there. The Indianapolis 500 will be heard on WMUN. It's the May race. Again, perhaps you've heard of it. Weather around here, yesterday it was 70 plus. I was smoking chicken in the backyard right before the gales of November came flying in here. Sheesh, those winds. On the way to work this morning, there were snow showers on my windshield. I'm shaking my head on the camera. Sheesh. Temperature today is going to fall to 29 degrees by 4 this afternoon. Please, don't blame meteorologist Paul Poteet. He's just in publicity. He's not in production. We do have some snow chances for the next day or two around here. But here's the good news. Look at me, Mr. Spin City. We're going to be back to 60 plus by Friday, if not sooner. All right, so just wait a minute. Friday, the first day of spring. Whew. Tomorrow morning, weather doesn't even matter because it's an indoor event and it is a spring tradition around here. The Delaware County Farm Festival. I'll be there with Delaware County today at the fairgrounds in Muncie for day one. We'll have another member of our Air Force, Jay Garrison, the former retired voice of Ball State women's basketball on the radio. He doesn't look like he's retired. He'll be there for one of our other stations on day one, and then on day two, among other features and festivities, the pedal pull. This is for the kids to have a race inside the memorial building there at the fairgrounds at the Delaware County Farm Festival. Our Gary Joseph will be there live. He might even do some play-by-play. I wouldn't put it past him. That'll be all a Tuesday, Wednesday event at the Delaware County Fairgrounds in Muncie. Change of plan. Let's go to our break next so we can get our guest in here in moments from now. Stand by. That's coming up from Studio B on the campus of Woof Boom Radio for WMUN.
Save big on your landscape project at Menards. Whether you're shopping for edgers, pavers, or wall blocks, Menards has the largest in-stock selection of concrete landscape block ready to take home today. Build a beautiful border for your landscape with our interlock edgers on sale now through March 22nd. Save big on landscape block at Menards. Also, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, my name's Diane Duncan Stark, and I've been at Silver Birch going on 4 years. I'm really proud to live here. My nursing experience is excellent. They all care, and it shows. I say that to everybody that I meet that might need a place to live. I tell them everything because there isn't a bad thing about Silver Birch.
Hello, this is Joe Collins from Silver Birch Living in Muncie. We are thankful for our community and residents. Silver Birch Living in Muncie, inspiring purposeful lives for all.
Start your day with Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal. The instant oatmeal ready to help you tackle whatever your day brings, like wrangling your toddler into their car seat. That was fun. Coaching your 6th graders soccer team. Go girls! And carrying all the groceries in one trip. Whew. Try Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal, granola, and bars. Great taste and a good source of protein. Quaker. Bring out the good.
Let me paint a picture. It's midnight. Sirens blare. You have only seconds to grab your child and run. Now imagine you're elderly. Your legs don't work like they used to. Getting downstairs feels impossible. And after all of that, you end up in a bomb shelter for hours, even days, because you can't make that trek again.
This is what's happening across Israel as Operation Epic Fury continues. Children are being traumatized. Families are exhausted. Homes have been destroyed. That's why the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews is there on the ground, bringing food, emergency equipment, care for children, and help for the elderly. They're also supplying bomb shelters and medical centers with critically needed essentials.
If you've ever wondered what it looks like to stand for Israel and stand for good against evil, this is it. Please act now. Give $45 right now to rush life-saving essentials to the vulnerable under fire. Call 888-488-IFCJ. That's 888-488-IFCJ, or go online at ifcj.org. That's ifcj.org.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
And here we are in Studio B. You can see my guest, Mandy, joining me now and now zooming in on the close-up. Hello, Mandy. How are you today? Good to see you. Mandy Williams is from Lifestream Services, and a sponsored segment here to talk about Senior Nutrition Month. Let's start there first and foremost. Why do we have this month, and how important is it to focus on that?
Yeah, thank you. There are two big components for Nutrition Month. The first is, of course, the importance of nutrition from a health perspective, particularly for older adults, but also the social component. People getting to a meal site, eating together, getting a meal delivered to the home by a driver, sometimes that interaction might be all they have. And so the social interaction that comes with a meal is also really important.
So how does it work? How does somebody that might be listening out there that might be homebound or near homebound, they have a struggle with getting help and rides to places and so forth, and maybe they just have a struggle with seeking proper food and nutrition. What's the process like? How does it work?
Yeah, it's really the same for all of our programs at Lifestream. We have a fantastic department at the organization called Information and Assistance. They take calls from people just seeking resources, wanting to get connected to programs in the community. Anybody can give us a call and see how those programs work. Like you said, we offer nutrition. We have a full transportation department. They can speak with our dispatchers about how to get a ride to and from a meal site, go through some intake questions to see if they qualify. The great thing about congregate nutrition, so the partner sites that we offer throughout the community, we have 19 throughout 12 counties here in East Central Indiana.
Had no idea that many.
Yeah, those are really open to anybody age 60 and up on a donation basis. So there's no qualification needed. We would certainly welcome any older adult to join us at one of those.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
This is Mandy Williams from Lifestream Services with us on WMUN's Delaware County Today. This is Senior Nutrition Month, the 54th anniversary, as I have found out from the interwebs. You always can trust the interwebs.
That's right.
A federal nutrition investment that delivers nutritious meals and community-based services supporting healthier aging and reducing avoidable health care costs. That is from the internet. Mandy said it much better just a moment ago. For those that aren't familiar, Lifestream Services hasn't been around forever, but has been around for a long time. What's some of the history of Lifestream Services?
This is our 51st year.
Oh, wow.
Last year we celebrated our golden anniversary. We started right here in Muncie, and it was actually a Muncie Ball State professor who wanted to start Lifestream.
Really?
To start getting funding for senior nutrition. That was the first program identified over 50 years ago to serve older adults here in East Central Indiana, and we have been doing it ever since.
And Mandy, what's your story? You clearly haven't been there for all 50 plus years.
I have not, no.
But you know, you clearly are motivated to serve the people. So what's your story?
Yeah.
How did you land there?
I have been with Lifestream about 6.5 years. Prior to that, my background was with Adult Day. So serving older adults, people with disabilities, really with the goal of allowing people to age and be at home. We know that most people want to age and stay at home with their families, and so adult day programs, nutrition, the other services that Lifestream provides, that's really the goal, is to keep people active and engaged at home and in their community.
This is the story of Lifestream Services, or at least a part of it, this morning on Delaware County Today. I was looking at some of the statistics. I looked at your website for this. I'm not sure you have these memorized, but I have some big numbers in your most recent data. I see number of meals provided annually at 267,000 plus.
That's right.
Wow. Rides given annually at almost 39,000, and annual in-home care hours more than 230,000 given and provided. That's just incredible.
Yeah, I think a lot of people sometimes are shocked to learn about the scope of our services. They might see a bus out on the road. That's usually what people recognize. Yeah, the Lifestream buses. But there's so much more to that. And we serve 12 counties here in the east central part of the state. So really the reach is big, and the need is big and getting bigger.
And this is Mandy Williams from Lifestream Services, a sponsored segment this morning on WMUN's Delaware County Today. We're talking about March, Senior Nutrition Month. Let me talk, or have you talk to those that are listening that might be apprehensive. You know, people are careful and cautious. Maybe it's an adult child that has a mom or a dad or somebody that's living by themselves and hopefully healthy and happily in that regard, but they just got a little hump once in a while to get over, or maybe it's an everyday thing, but they're apprehensive. Maybe the adult children are apprehensive about who they're going to trust with mom or dad's care or help or whatever, or let's flip the coin there and say, let's say there are people listening themselves that are in their home or whatever, and they're just, you know how it is. Sometimes they just don't want to ask for an assist. Tell me about how you mitigate those sorts of feelings.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we hear a lot. We've actually started developing caregiver support programs to kind of help, whether it's those children children, spouses, even neighbors, people in the community, help equip them to have conversations like that with the people that they're caring for. One piece of advice I would share, and something that we hear a lot, is, I wish I had known about you sooner. People wait too long. Some of these programs, particularly nutrition, particularly wellness, they're preventative. So it's really important to take advantage of a good nutritious meal or a wellness class or an exercise program before you get to a crisis point. There are so many sites and so many partners you can get involved with in the area. We try to make it very low barrier. We try to offer that transportation. I would say give it a shot before you think you need it, so that then when the time comes, you have something in place and, it's not a crisis at that point.
Great advice. Mandy is here for Lifestream Services, talking about March Senior Nutrition Month. I say this from time to time. In fact, I say it a lot, Mandy, within these sorts of gatherings, interviews, and information that we get to share with people in our community here on WMUN. We have a lot of really incredible groups, clubs, agencies, organizations in our midst. And there's really not a lot of reason to go without and to don't seek and just kind of put a hand out and get a smile back. I imagine there's a lot of that smiling that goes on when you are providing at Lifestream Services these kinds of services.
Yeah, we have fantastic staff. We have fantastic partners. For nutrition, we have 19 partner sites across our counties. We absolutely cannot run those without the staff and volunteers. April is Volunteer Month, so we're celebrating Nutrition Month now, but next month will be Volunteer Month. Certainly not possible without all that support. And a lot of the volunteers are older adults themselves, and that's another great way for them to stay involved and stay active.
We have a couple of minutes left on our segment here. Why don't we talk about the volunteer aspect, even though it's not April yet, and the focus will begin that. Well, you can always seek out those kinds of good-hearted people. How might somebody be considered to volunteer to help out?
There are any number of opportunities. Really, you can create your own. From nutrition, we have folks who go to the sites and help serve. They help with bookkeeping, record keeping of number of meals served, and getting things back to our staff for billing timely. Another important aspect, we talked about how something that's so important in the nutrition program is that connection, that social connection. Yeah. We have a whole volunteer program dedicated to friendly calls, friendly visits, friendly helpers. So that's really a great opportunity for some of that one-on-one interaction. Get to know somebody in your community and make a difference.
I noticed the word friendly was in every one of those topic points there. That's really important to you and to everybody at Lifestream Services.
It is, yeah. I think a big part of aging is making sure people can do that with dignity. And so we want to make sure people are treated with respect and with a friendly touch.
There you go again. Yeah. Friendly. Don't hesitate to reach out, please, and seek the help and the services of Lifestream Services. Is there anything we haven't touched on this morning, Mandy, that you would like to work in before we conclude the segment?
Yeah, I think what's so important for the nutrition program is just that people are aware of it. It can't run on just federal and state funding alone, so we do have a donation campaign going this month, and we are accepting sponsorships as well. We love partnering with local business so that they can make sure residents and seniors know about what's available to them, but they get some of that recognition at our sites too. So if you want to get to know more about Lifestream or the people that we serve in the community, this is a great time to do it. Lots of opportunities at those sites.
Mandy, thanks for sharing. Mandy Williams from Lifestream Services. I appreciate your work and efforts and so many around you that are doing this great work and efforts every day.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You're quite welcome. Lifestream Services, again, from their website, their mission is to provide the right information, resources, and support for improving quality of life and maintaining independence for older adults, those with disabilities, and caregivers. And you can find out more on their website as well. Inside Studio B this morning, we'll continue with more Delaware County Today in just a moment on WMUN.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Gary Dick. Union workers at the BP refinery in Whiting have overwhelmingly voted to reject the oil giant's last, best, and final contract offer. The United Steelworkers Local 7-1 said more than 98% of members voted not to accept the offer. The previous contract expired on January 31, but the two parties have agreed to a rolling 24-hour extension of the agreement for refinery workers. To labor news now in the business of sports. A new labor deal in the WNBA is high stakes for the league, its players, and franchise cities. The Indiana Fever have been riding a surge in ticket sales, merchandise, and TV numbers, and that has spread to downtown Indy businesses, says IU Columbus finance professor Ryan Brewer.
What we see is that the local proprietors are now, built up to kind of expect that summer business, so that's another impact on Indianapolis.
You're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Indiana University is shaping the future of healthcare with Hoosiers in mind. Advancing discoveries that become treatments for Alzheimer's, obesity, cancer, and rare diseases, and training the providers trusted to deliver them. From the lab to your local clinic, IU powers medical breakthroughs and the talent behind them. Discover how IU is solving what's next at iu.edu/impact.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from Northwest Indiana, Jeffersonville, Muncie, South Bend, in downtown Evansville, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, Richmond, from one of the state's key entrepreneurial and innovation hubs, 16 Tech. Inside Indiana Business, Indiana's business news leader.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, the job works in your favor. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members buy more and save more on materials they rely on every day. Get up to 25% off select molding when you spend $1,000 or more, and up to 25% off Pergo Evercraft laminate flooring. Put Pro Savings Days to work for you. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowes.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a cybersecurity engineer at a publicly traded company.
We've been hacked! They're through our firewall!
How is that even possible?
They got my password.
Please don't tell me your password was password.
It's actually password 1.
This is your job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
Watching this wacky weather, I just stepped outside as we saw our guest to the vehicle, and whew, it's cold. It's not like Minnesota cold, but it is a lot nippier than it was. It's true. Yesterday I was smoking chicken in the backyard. If we have time before the end of the hour, and we may or we may not, I'll take you through, because I know how much you love to live vicariously through my Facebook and or my cooking stories. I'm rolling my eyes on the video here. It's a good filler, too, if we have to kill some time to get up to the top of the hour and the hard out, as we call it in radio terms. We have Lefay Pegues ready to go. He'll be arriving in moments into the main building here on the campus of Wolf Boom Radio. He is the host of the weekly program called the 765businessjournal.com radio show. It's the radio version from 9 to 9:30 a.m. every Monday of the website that is managed and maintained by Mike Rhodes, editor-in-chief of the original MuncieJournal.com and the 765businessjournal.com. We have Aiden Foster producing in the Axia Command Center this morning, doing a great job, too, keeping everything all on the straight and narrow, and we very much appreciate his efforts as well. Now, another week of polling, and I still don't know any human that has ever been polled before.
This is Poll Parade with Fox News Director of Polling, Dana Blanton.
In a lot of reporting on polls and surveys, we like to compare the results among voters who self-identify as Democrats and Republicans. As you know, the gap between partisans is extremely wide these days. But what about within the parties? For instance, only 5% of Democrats approve of the job President Trump is doing, compared to 87% of Republicans. That's an 82-point gap between the two major parties. But within the GOP, there's also a divide. President preferential approval among those identifying as MAGA supporters stands at 98%. Among non-MAGA Republicans, only 63% approve. The spread between MAGA and non-MAGA grows to 44 points on Trump's handling of tariffs. 87% of MAGA like what he's doing, but approval is only 45% among non-MAGA Republicans. This underscores how understanding today's political landscape requires looking not only across party lines, but within them as well. I'm Dana Blanton, and that's your Potpourri.
On WMUN, News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk, the home of Ball State baseball talk, too. Automatic pool covers makes that possible from Shebeck Stadium and other locations, too. We're going to have some road games in state this season as well. Another series under their belt. I think they got to 10 wins now, the Ball State Cardinal basketball squad. Baseball squad. I had basketball on my head, of course, because we're all about the bracketology, right? The bracketology did not include the Ball State women, of course, because they lost in that Friday game here on WMUN, presented by Pridemark Construction. We found out last night they did not get a bid to the WNIT either, so I think that is the end of the road. I don't think there's any other tournaments available. There was a third-level tournament. Maybe there is a third, but there was a fourth. There was a tournament, a postseason tournament, that was canceled just last week. John Herrick had that story from Network Indiana and here on WMUN. But I'm pretty sure that season over for the Ball State women's basketball team as well. And, of course, the men not making the Mid-American Conference tournament made that a foregone conclusion for them as well. Next up on WMUN's Delaware County Today, people are talking about a string of alleged terror and extremist-linked attacks that is reigniting debate over naturalization and legal immigration when it comes to national security.
Securing America.
Republican lawmakers want to expand the rare process known as denaturalization, the government's ability to revoke citizenship it's awarded. The effort coming one day after attacks in Michigan and Virginia, allegedly carried out by men not originally from the United States. Eric Schmidt is a Republican senator from Missouri.
We need to reform our legal immigration system, Laura. A lot of these people have come in legally. A lot of American workers have been displaced by foreign workers. A lot of American students have been displaced by these visa mills at universities and tax breaks that companies get after the fact. So we've got a lot of work to do, but we clearly have laws right now that need to be enforced.
In November, President Trump said he supported expanding denaturalization following the shooting attack on 2 National Guard members serving in Washington, D.C. The suspect, who was awaiting trial, moved to the U.S. from Afghanistan in 2021. In Washington, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
8:46, that'll be 14 till 9 o'clock here in Muncie, Indiana, USA. If you're wondering why I haven't done so many shout-outs through the visualization that we have here, push the button, Steve. Thank you. Now the video is happening. Anywho, one of our systems not working properly because of all the storms and the wind and everything. Sean Mattingly, our chief technologist, has already tried to help me, and I can't necessarily push that button just yet, so can't see for sure, but I bet you were listening in Chicago and Los Angeles, probably Ohio, and wherever else they have internet and or power this morning, and there's a lot of power outages. I mentioned Lefay Pegues hosting our program that begins at 9 a.m. I should mention also the 9:30 a.m. program every Monday. Candy Dodd will be the guest of Dr. Joe Mashevitz. Don't even try to spell that. Dr. Joe, the Hall of Fame member of the Indiana Broadcasters Association, one of the many air talent hosts that we have in our midst here on WMUN, and his show is called All Kinds of People. What he basically does is talks to all kinds of people. Future guests at Candy Dodd today, 9:30 till 10 a.m. Rich Spizak coming soon. Jackie Hanneman, and we have found out around here that she is headed on to her next challenge in life, but she's done so many things that are incredible, nice, and helpful in Muncie and Delaware County. Dr. Joe will feature her. Mark Canada, Brett Ellison, Lee Edwards, Michael O'Hara, Laura O'Hara, They are related, and many, many others still to come on all kinds of people. On the radio first, Mondays 9:30 till 10 a.m., and then on demand, it's on the All Kinds of People channel on our website, WMUNmuncie.com. By the way, on that same technological vein, one thing happened last week that I wanted to tell you behind the scenes. Jackson Jacoby is one of our awesome producers here. Jackson was able to fix and or mitigate a mistake that I made during one of these video presentations from Studio B, WMUN's Delaware County Today. Really, really incredible help behind the scenes and on the front lines. And then you got Aiden Foster, who is in the Axia Command Center right now, who has actually been working on something behind the scenes. It's kind of a covert, it's not really secret, but another way to get the word out about this program, Delaware County Today. Can't wait to get that tweaked up and ready to go. I say I. Can't wait when he gets that tweaked up and ready to go. And you'll be seeing that on Facebook and maybe the Instagram too. I think that's what he said. Now, don't be texting me now, Aiden. That's too much data flying at me. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Our WMUN weather has certainly changed, no doubt about it. Paul Poteet hourly updates. He's the meteorologist in charge of our WMUN weather forecast weekdays and weekends on all of the Woof Boom radio stations. Next item for this morning, another health focus this month.
This is House Call for Health. March is Brain Injury Awareness Month. The Brain Injury Association of America leads the initiative and says there are at least 64 million adults in the U.S. who report having sustained a traumatic brain injury in their lifetime. Those injuries occur about every 9 seconds. A brain injury impacts how someone acts, thinks, and feels, and symptoms can be wide-ranging. A traumatic brain injury, also known as a TBI, happens when brain function is altered by an external force, such as a strike to the head or a fall, car accident, or assault. The association says no two brain injuries are alike, so treatments vary from immediately going to the hospital to post-acute care encompassing long-term treatment for side effects. For more information and resources, including how to request job accommodations after a brain injury, you can visit biausa.org. Or for more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Yeah, I cough right into the microphone. I need some health also. Thank you, Lisa Brady. Fox News Radio updates right around the top of the hour, keeping track of all things in our world, including what is going on in Iran and more. Updates because you want and need to know. You can listen for those right around the top of the hour. Tony Katz Today is from noon to 3 today and every day on WMUN. Wednesday this week, special Ball State baseball broadcast. I think Kurt Darling has the play-by-play on that one from Shebeck Stadium. Automatic Pool Covers makes that possible. And the Butler Bulldogs coming into town, weather permitting. They also have a Tuesday road game this week. Not on the radio, but we will track it and make sure that you can stay connected to your cards. Really happy to have that guest in on Friday morning's program. The last presentation with Joshua Harris Till will be today. The nonprofit Lunch and Learn. Community Impact is the title of that one. It's noon to 2 today. It's a free community event. A $15 lunch option is available. And you can find out more at Minnetrista Museum and Gardens. The Emmett Till Let the World See exhibit continues through April 12, but Mr. Harris Till is in town for another day here to share some firsthand and real-life experience to make it even more tied into what we need to know about the history of our country in the regards and with regards to civil rights. Now, we're getting closer to the final item here. Yeah, I think we are up to that point. Yeah, we are. We are going from the 2021 archives, but this proves that there are great people all around us, old and young.
The Dean's List with Jack List. Janice Dean.
A group of high school graduates from Maine who decided to use their trip money to help their community makes today's Dean's List. Traditionally, Islesboro Central School seniors hold fundraising events to finance a once-in-a-lifetime class trip at the end of their final semester. Places they have gone include Paris, Iceland, Norway, and Panama. This year's class had already raised close to $8,000 in donations, but there were many travel restrictions because of COVID. Instead, the group decided to help their neighborhood. Most of the money went to the Island Community Fund, which helps residents whose livelihoods were affected by the pandemic. Another donation went to vaccination clinics and other philanthropic causes. Community Fund President Fred Thomas says there's a strong sense of pride in the students. Thank you, Islesboro Senior Class of 2021. Your future already looks bright, and you made the Dean's List. Janice Dean, Fox News.
I hope that I make the Dean's List someday. Steve Lindell, thanking you for listening, most importantly, viewing also. Hopefully the YouTube page is something that you may consider joining up with and following. Woof Boom Studio B is how to find that. And if you don't know how, ask a kid. My producer this morning, son of Al, is Aiden Foster in the Axia Command Center. Stay tuned. There's the 765businessjournal.com radio show live, top of hour, just after a news check. And then we'll have all kinds of people at 9:30. Dan Patrick after that. Thanks for listening. Back at the Farm Festival live on location tomorrow. Steve Lindell on WMUN. My fault.
You know when your sleep isn't doing its job? The soreness, lack of energy, the slower recovery the next day? Mattress Firm sleep experts can match you with a more supportive mattress, like the Tempur-Pedic.